Part 1. White Clouds. Guardian Moon. Where the goddess dwells. Long ago, the guardian Saros made an appearance during this moon. She had been summoned by the goddess, whose soul was suffering as the flames of war raged across Fodlan. Some believe that high in the sky above Saros, the Immaculate One's mighty wings are what powered the strong winds carrying the Guardian and her forces into battle.
Hey, Teach, do you believe in gods? I don't necessarily mean the goddess of the Saros religion, just gods in general. Do you believe that incredible beings who control the fates of all really exist? That's not the answer I was expecting. Though, honestly, I've recently become a bit of a believer myself. I've always hated the idea of praying to a god. After all, you can only really rely on yourself. I still believe that. You can't win a war by leaving your fate in the hands of a god. Only tangible facts can really decide a war. Which side has the most troops, the best tactics, the better organization and planning. Of course, miracles can happen. And by that, I mean things that are completely outside of your control. Things that only seem to add up if you believe in the concept of fate. Things like, well, like meeting you, for example. You just seem sort of impossible. I think everyone would agree with that. You can wield the sword of the Creator, you're a tactical genius, and you have this strange ability to earn the trust of anyone you cross paths with. Before I met you, I never imagined that it was possible for someone like you to exist. And yet, now that I know you, your presence in my life has quickly become invaluable. In fact, it's hard to imagine making my dreams come true without your help. Because of that, I can't believe for a second that our meeting was just a coincidence. That means it must have been fate. Maybe it was a miracle. Or maybe some god empathized with me in my dreams. Again, I don't mean the goddess of Fodlan, though I suppose it may be hard for you to grasp what I'm talking about. People all over the world have different ideas about who or what the gods are, right? Even in distant lands across the ocean or over the mountains. They have gods who see the world as a whole, who don't care about Fodlan's borders, who don't meddle in our affairs, who don't grant life or take it away. And maybe, sometimes, they'll make a miracle happen. A god like that, that's the sort of god I think I could believe in. Careful, Teach. You'll anger the followers of Saros if you say things like that. I'm just speaking my mind, that's all. I think people should be free to believe in whatever gods they want. If a person believes in a god and that god becomes a support system for them, that's a good thing. That's what a god should be. Anyway, maybe I've overstepped a bit. I knew you'd understand. In any case, let's keep this conversation between the two of us, yeah?
Day 5 of the Garland Moon, year 1157. Clear skies. I picked some flowers for her and returned home. The look of joy on her face at the sight of these flowers will be even more beautiful than the flowers themselves. Yeesh, that is enough. His entries from before your birth are full of such romantic blatherings as that. Oh, it must be deeply moving you to hear such things, but now is not the time for whimsy. Someone is here. You do not wish for them to see you in this state, so pull yourself together.
I thought I might find you here, Teach. Not the type to wallow in solitude, huh? That's a relief, let me tell you. So, what were you reading? Is that Gerald's? So it is. Hey, maybe this has some entries from when Gerald left the monastery. Is that so? He was the captain of the knights, but something made him leave the monastery in a hurry. If it has something to do with your birth, knowing what happened may get us closer to knowing what secrets the church is hiding. Teach, would you mind letting me read that diary? I know how important it is to you, but I'm not asking lightly. Please allow me to borrow it. I'm forever in your debt, Teach. If you'd refused, I would have had to sneak in here in the dead of night. I wasn't looking forward to the prospect. Anyhow, let me fill you in on what's been going on lately, and not just as thanks for pointing me to that diary. Rhea dispatched the knights to various locations in a frantic search for the enemy. There's a rumor that she's already secured some information. Something big is going to happen soon. That has me wondering, if you find out where the enemy is, what will you do about it? If you ask, No, scratch that. All of us students would gladly lend a hand, even if that means going against Rhea's wishes. Don't forget it. Now go. Everyone's worried about you. You'd better show them you're in good spirits.
Oh, thank you. You saved me.
If you were to die, then the mystery of our bodies would be revealed. Preventing that was my only aim. I'm afraid you must remain, Kronya. There is something I need you to do.
Oh, of course. I'm always happy to cooperate with Solon. Leave it to me.
How annoying.
Flame Emperor, is she offending you? Unfortunately, we cannot take our eyes off her, so there is nothing to be done. You are our greatest creation. We use the defiled beast's blood as the fuel to your flame, that you may burn even the gods. Now is the time to cleanse Fodlan with that power and bring forth our salvation.
There will be no salvation for you and your kind. Those responsible for such gruesome deeds in Dusker and Enmar.
All so that you may acquire the strength you need, all for a purpose.
Hey, Professor. Look, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I didn't mean to lose my temper. I was rude to you. Huh, I thought you might say that. In that way, you're just like Captain Gerald. You accept other people. You don't let petty details get under your skin. Well, when I was a kid, I kind of latched onto him. I've been calling myself his apprentice ever since. He spent some time in the village I grew up in. Actually, you weren't with him back then. Why not? Huh. Maybe he left you with a relative or something. Anyway, back then, Gerald's job was to deal with poachers. Well, they were bandits, but we called them poachers. Nobody in the village could stand up to them. But your dad, he took them on like it was nothing. I was so impressed. I'd lived in that tiny village my whole life, so to me, Captain Gerald was nothing short of a legend. So I went right up to him and I told him I was going to be his apprentice. He didn't stick around long after that, but he did teach me a lot while he was with us. Tactics, strategy, training routines, it was all so new and exciting. So after he left, I kept at it. Me too. I always planned to meet him again once I became a top-tier mercenary. But I'm just glad I got to see him, to thank him properly and all. I've spent my whole life working to become a great mercenary like your father. There were so many times when I wanted to ask his advice, but I couldn't. That's how I've made it this far. Just hard work, all on my own. And it's like you don't appreciate Captain Gerald at all, or how lucky you were to have him around your whole life. No, it still really bothers me. You might be his kid, but I'm still his best apprentice. Got it?
Claude, are you aware of the most recent conflict within the Alliance?
Hello to you too, Lord.
Margrave Edmund is raising objections over the assignment of his troops to...
If you please, one.
That is just the kind of lackadaisical attitude. House Edmund may not hold much land. Their influence is poised to rival even the most powerful players in the Alliance. Do you find it acceptable to let...
It's not as though the threat of Almighty...
Such negligence! What makes you so certain the Almirans will not attack us tomorrow? If certain dukes hold back their proper share of support...
Calm yourself. I am well aware that the financial situation of House Edmund is quite exceptional. However, what you fail to realize is that they're lacking in as it were, the Almirans have been nothing but peaceful since we refortified Fodlan's Locket. And are you...
Is that so?
In fact, it's largely thanks to the skilled craftsmen he assembled. I, for one, wouldn't want to attack a fortress as formidable as...
I do see your point. But even the sturdiest fortress...
Well, well. And here I thought he only cared about status. Still, if...
have time for a request?
Oh, is something... That ring. Ah, he said he wished for you to have that. He also said...
Professor. Hello there.
Professor. I'm so sorry about what happened to Gerald. No, of course my sorrow is nothing compared to yours. The Knights are even now searching for our end. If you desire revenge, Professor, you can count me in. That's the golden deer for you. It was a good try. Never underestimate an outsider. It's not luck, it's fate.
Professor? What happened to Gerald? It's terrible. If there's anything I can do, simply ask. We can't let them get away with this.
Professor, I've sung lyrics but Sir Gerald. Hey there, Professor. I'm not unhappy where I am. Well, I might learn even more. We You're the. Oh, yeah? That's great! I'm looking forward to spending more time with you, Professor.
Professor?
Excuse sec.
Eating.
That.
This is my absolute favorite.
I did.
I like this.
That.
This me.
Feast.
Excuse me, Professor. I know. Forgive me. Just know that.
You've man. We can't. I've all. You're a vet.
Right. It's about the weapon that killed Gerald. It was a dagger. It wasn't made of iron, or who could make a blade?
You've lost man. We can't. I've all. You're a vet. First, both. It was as if thinking how they man.
This... This... Now...
How's this gonna...
This could be... It was... Of course... I got... That could work.
Professor.
I'm glad it's you.
We'll knock their socks off. Can't argue with results, can?
It's starting to make sense.
I'm beginning to understand.
It's starting to make sense. I'm a quick study.
It's all instinct now.
There's someone who's slightly off. Oh well, That adds some color, I suppose.
I can't sing very loud.
I'm pleased to have been invited. I am grateful. Of course. Yes. How quickly this delightful time has passed.